Welcome to Sequim Real Estate Questions and Answers. I'm Chuck Marundi, your host. And tonight I want to address a question that's been coming up a lot more lately than in years past. Should I buy land and build a home versus buy an existing home in the MLS inventory? Well, there's a lot of issues and it can be a rather complex discussion. But if you haven't built several homes in your lifetime, I hope this video is helpful because I want to just lay out a few things that might help you decide which way to go. If you can't find the ideal home for your retirement home in the Sequim area in the MLS, you might be thinking, well, let's just buy land and build. Well, there's quite a bit to think about. So let's talk about that. Finding the right land is no small task. And then site excavation is also no small task. As you can see, there's quite a bit involved. You have to have the right builders, the right architects, the right contract specialists, the subcontractors that work under the builder, to do all of the things that need to be done. And it can take 6 months to a year from the date that you signed the contract with the builder to get the home done. And it can take 1 to 2 years to get a final product like this. So there is a lot to think about. And there's a lot of stress involved in building a home. I don't even, if you've built homes before, I don't care. You're still going to have stress. Oh, golly, there's so much to think about. And I want to just cover a few of the things here so that you'll get an idea of what's involved and hopefully have a beautiful view like this. Let's take a look at a checklist that I've got. And I want to show this to you. I got it on the screen and I want to go through it. And I'm going to let you also see it because you may want to actually take a picture of it or come back to this and look through it or replay the video. But first of all, as I say, the first step is finding the ideal land. And that takes some people, believe it or not, years to find the ideal location with the right view and the right price. Remember, Sequim is a small market with not very many listings for either homes or land. So you could literally wait years for the right property to come on the market. Then once you find the property, you've got to make sure that it's going to perk for a septic system if you're not on a community sewer system. And the question then is, will you be able to install a conventional septic system, or will that lot require a pressurized system that can cost as much as $24,000 or more? And if you have to drill a well, can you hit water? Now, see, you won't know for sure until long after you've closed on the purchase. And if you can't hit water that's drinkable, well, you're stuck with a lot you can never sell because, remember, you'd have to disclose the fact that you couldn't get water on any seller disclosure statement, and that would be a tragedy. It has happened, too. Don't think it doesn't happen. The next point I want to make is that even a nice piece of land that can satisfy all of these requirements in the Sequim area, assuming it's not waterfront or expensive water view property, it'll still cost $125,000 plus. You can't buy cheap land here outside of the city if you want to build a home. Any decent lot is going to be $125,000 to $175,000 or more. So just keep that in mind. If you're thinking you can buy a $29,000 or $59,000 lot, yes, they do. You'll find every once in a while something like that in the MLS. But it's most likely not something you want to build on. There's a reason that it's so cheap in an area like this. And excavation can be expensive, especially if there's a slope on the property, depending on what you're going to have to do to prepare for the foundation. That could be another $75,000 plus or minus. Now, once you're ready to hire a builder, you have to realize that in an area like Sequim, the best builders are booked out 1 year or 2 years from now. So if you can find a builder who's not, well, that's great, but you have to do your homework because this is kind of a critical issue. Now, having been a real estate attorney in Sequim for many years, I can tell you that I did see a lot of clients who got burnt badly by builders. So look at the bid price, but be careful about taking that bid to other builders, because while I don't discourage you from doing that, it is real easy for another builder to come in at a lower bid. All he has to do is start cutting corners, cutting the quality of materials, etc. Well, the next thing is that once your home is under construction, you've got to expect surprises. And you'll see in my notes here, I said in over 40 years in the real estate business, I can't recall more than 2 homes that didn't have surprises for the owners. In one case, there was a huge boulder under the building site that no one could have known about, and they had to bring in explosive experts and get rid of the rock and then haul it off. That cost a lot of extra money that they did not originally budget. In many cases, owners were not happy about the flooring or the windows or the bathroom fixtures or other items that required upgrades, and so there had to be change orders, and that meant more money to the builder. In one case, I remember a client came to me and said that they discovered there needed to be another window at a wall because there was a beautiful water view right there in that section of the house, but no window. And so they talked to the builder about it. He said, yeah, I'll put a little window in there. That'll be an extra $6,000. Well, they didn't have much choice, right? And so that was a ripoff, but that's what happened. And the last thing I'll mention here is I remember clients coming in and saying that they had a builder who built their home and they decided they want a deck all along the back of the house. And this was an elderly couple in their 80s. And so the builder said, yeah, I'll build the deck. That'll be an additional $85,000, which unfortunately these elderly people just paid. I know that was a major ripoff. Now, here's what I want to say. My experience tells me that generally people are going to come in at about 15% above their budget when they're building a house. So, even if you plan I don't care if you're a mathematician or an accountant or a CPA, if you came in right at 100% of your budget, it would be kind of a miracle because there are always surprises. And so those surprises are stressful, let's face it. Hey, in terms of financing, realize, of course, that you cannot finance land by itself. Now, you might be able to get a land and construction loan that converts to long-term financing, but you may just have to pay cash for the property up front. Most builders are taking a lot longer than 6 months, too, to build a home in the Sequim area. I know that's not true in a lot of metropolitan areas. My son and daughter-in-law live in Las Vegas, and they slap houses up there in a matter of 3 or 4 months, it seems. But here it takes at least 6 months, and in a lot of cases, builders are taking 8 to 10 to 12 months to complete a home here. So you've got to plan for that. Realize that from the time that you find the land, which might take a while, it could still be 1 to 2 years before your retirement home is ready to move into. So let's talk about building costs. It used to be that the minimum for a medium custom quality home was $125 a square foot, plus the cost of the land, plus excavation, utilities, the driveway, landscaping, and so on. But homes are costing a little more now, and depending on your options, you could easily be at $175 to $250 per square foot for just the construction of the home. So I'm not trying to discourage you from building your own home, but if you buy an existing home, the total price will be discounted a little or a lot, depending on many variables. In the upper price range, talking about, say, above $700,000, above $800,000, you're going to get a much better price because there are less buyers here at the upper price range. And supply and demand is that, as in this example I share with you, I just recently sold a home for just under $1.1 million. But to buy the land, develop it, and build the house probably would have cost at least $1.4 million today. So that's not true at the lower prices. At the lower prices, fair market value, listing price is generally going to be closer to the building cost. But at the upper price, you have the advantage. Now, here's the key to building your own home. And I'm glad you hung in there because I promise you, these two keys will save your bacon 1,000 times. And this comes not from me guessing or speculating, but from over 40 years in real estate, including 20 years as a real estate lawyer dealing with home builder disputes, and from handling hundreds of transactions as a real estate broker. So you can take all of this and these two keys to the bank. And just remember, you got this free from me, your favorite Sequim Buyers agent. Key number 1, buy the right lot. Now that's another video altogether, because there's so much to finding and buying the right lot. But if you buy the wrong lot with problems, no one can help you, not even your builder, okay? Number 2, key number 2, hire the best builder you can find, not necessarily the lowest bidder. I might need to say that twice, because a lot of people will go get a bid from a really good builder, and they take that bid to one or two other builders, and they get lower bids. It's real easy for a builder to cut corners and to be less than 100% honest. Oh yeah, I can do it for $30,000 less. And then you find out, well, yeah, he didn't use nearly the quality of the materials. In fact, the other problem that came up so many times when I was a real estate attorney is that people would go to the lowest bidder, and they would end up paying more than the original bid from the best builder. Why is that? Because the lowest bidder did not include things that later had to be added with change orders. So there's an extra $10,000 for that, an extra $6,000 for that, an extra $15,000 for that. Pretty soon, that builder was actually more expensive than the best builder, who had what appeared to be a higher bid originally. So you got to be careful choosing the builder. If you choose a builder who's going to guarantee the contract price rather than do cost plus, then you're on the right track right there. But get a good referral and don't just hire any builder. And by the way, I won't bore you with lots of horror stories, but I'll just tell you that there are people who've hired a particular builder, and I hear this over and over again. They'll go check on the house while he's building it. He's not building it according to the plans, and they'll mention that. And he gets mad at them and says, I'm building this house. I'll build it the way I want to. And I'm thinking, whoa, wait a minute. It's their money. So, oh, golly. You got to hire the right builder. Okay, that's the key. The number 1 key is hiring the right builder, but don't buy the wrong lot. So I have more resources for you on sequimblog.com and on my Living in Sequim YouTube site. So there's a lot of information available for you. And if I can be of any service to you in this whole process, you let me know. I am a buyer's agent, as you probably know by now, an exclusive buyer's agent for the Sequim area. And you can reach out to me anytime by email or phone or text. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.